What is going on, guys? Taylor Stuber with SharpSportsNetwork.com bringing you my big three for this Friday 10-game NBA slate. New series that we're bringing you guys every single day, as well as another series that I'm excited to announce. But at least for this video and this series, I will be personally giving away my three favorite plays of the day that I will be locking in both my cash games and GPPs. And we're going to have our new member of the team, Walker, will be bringing a similar video except for a GPP version, strictly GPP contrarian, and he'll explain it in his video later. So you're going to get a couple of free NBA videos every single day over here on this YouTube channel. If you guys want to support the channel, support us, and have a chance for a free NBA season pass, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. So let's get right into it. Another thing before we get into this thing, we are sponsored by FantasyDraft. Huge shout out to them for allowing us to do this and setting this up for us. We are running a free GPP free roll over here on FantasyDraft. If you use a link that's in the description, it's a free NFL GPP. First place gets a game worn Drew Brees autographed jersey, and then second and third get a free NFL season pass with us, and then 4th through 20th get a free $4 Wishbone ticket, which is one of their tournaments for next week's NFL slate. So it's completely free to join over here, and if you guys join and deposit using code Sharp Sports, let us know on Twitter, either at me, at Taylor Stuber, or at Sharp Sports Network or at Sharp Sports Net. Links are in the description. Let us know, and then we'll get you guys set up with all of our free content for Fantasy Draft to help you guys win and take advantage over the soft field over here on Fantasy Draft. You play rake free. It's one of the best sites to play on. I've been playing on it a ton lately and would highly suggest you guys do that. But yeah, let's get right into my three favorite plays of the day. They all come from the same game. It's just because there's so many injuries on both sides of these teams, and that's the Washington Wizards versus the Miami Heat. Now, it opened at 234. It dropped to 232. Not very concerning to me at 232. Over under is still very, very high on the slate, and it's the second highest on the slate out of 10 games. So it's a game that I want to be targeting. Both teams are incredibly fast, but one of the interesting things that I saw right off the bat is that only 24% of the bets are on the Wizards to cover the spread, and it dropped from 10 point dogs to 9.5 point dogs. So that means the sharp money is on Washington to cover, and if it's within 9 to 10 points going into the fourth quarter, we're going to get full run for both of these teams, and so I don't really feel very concerned about a blowout or anything like that. And we saw yesterday when it was the Wizards versus the 76ers. I saw that a lot of people were shying away from those guys because Washington were so depleted on their team was so depleted that they thought the game was no-brainer going to blow out, and actually the Sixers were going to blow them out, but it was actually on the opposite end, and the Wizards ended up winning pretty handily. So I get it. You can fear the blowout sometimes, but I think in the long run, if you just play normally, like the games aren't going to blow out, you're going to be in better hands. So yeah, the first play I want to talk about, and I think is by far the best play on the slate. I have, but it's one of the best spots I've ever seen across the board on all of the sites, and that's Bam Adebayo at 7.5K. We see in competitive games where he's out of foul trouble, which he never has foul trouble, but sometimes games blow out and his minutes are reduced because of that. But in games that are competitive, he's playing 36, 37, 38 minutes a game, upwards of 40 minutes this year. In this game, if it stays close, I'm going to want to have a ton of them. We go over here and look. Washington allows the most points in the paint. They're the fastest team in the league. They are the worst defense in the league, literally dead last and first in all of those statistics. And if we're talking about offensive rating, the Washington Wizards are fourth in the league. So that's a part of the reason why people think that these Wizards, as bad as they are on defense, they're so fast and they're so efficient on offense that they are keeping competitive in these games. And avoiding blowouts. So I want to get a ton of Bam Adebayo. We get no Dragic today. Justice Winslow is questionable. Would not be the least bit surprised if he sat this game. With both these guys off the court, Bam Adebayo has a usage rating of 20%, which is pretty good for a center. A 20.4 assist percentage, which is massive, and then a total rebound percentage of 17.1 while averaging 1.8 1.3 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court. And even if you take Justice Winslow off, if he plays and Dragic misses, it's about the same. And on the year, Bam Adebayo, with everybody healthy, is averaging 1.13 fantasy points per minute. So I think you can expect some production, an increase in production, especially in this matchup against Washington. In this game, I just want to get all over Bam Adebayo on all of these sites. We see over here on Fantasy Draft, Bam Adebayo is only 13.3K. He's power forward eligible over here on FanDuel, which is the most massive thing, and he's only 7.8K. He's about $1,000 too cheap over here on FanDuel, and then he's about $1,000 too cheap over here on DraftKings as well. He's only 7.5K center only, which I think is fine. Because there's not very many centers that I want all that much that are just center eligible. So I want to get a ton of Bam Adebayo. And then on the opposite side of the court, I want to get a ton of Ish Smith and Moritz Wagner. We know that Thomas Bryant is out. Isaiah Thomas was just recently ruled out. Jordan McRae, I didn't take him off the court, but he will be missing this game as well. But if you just take these guys off the court who are bigger impact guys than guys like Jordan McRae, we get Ish Smith averaging 0.86 fantasy points per minute. He played 36 minutes last game without Isaiah Thomas. Now, yesterday I played Ish Smith, and I think he was by far a lock, and I think he's clearly a lock today. I feared that they would close with Bradley Beal at the point, and then they probably threw in like Troy Brown or somebody defensive at the wing, and they wouldn't need Ish Smith. But it looks like it's a matchup that would be fine for Ish Smith. Averaging 0.86 fantasy points per minute. He's just way too cheap. He's 3.6K, like I mentioned over here on DraftKings. Don't know how you avoid it. And it's the same thing over here on FanDuel. He's only 4.3K. And then over here, he's 7K on FantasyDraft. So very affordable prices on all the sites. And then Moritz Wagner. We know that Thomas Bryant is out, so he was vying for minutes behind Jan Mahimi, and Rui Hachimura was playing so well. They continue to give him backup run at the 5, which I think they will do again today, because Jan Mahimi, he played last game for the first time all year. But he's going to be resting today on the back-to-back. And Moritz Wagner really didn't even play all that much because they did have Jan Mahimi breathing down his neck, as well as Rui Hachimura, like I mentioned earlier. He was just playing so well, they couldn't take him off the court. So I think in this matchup, Wagner matches up well against an undersized guy in Bam Adebayo. He's an undersized center. Very athletic. I think Wagner matches up well against him. Averages 1.23 fantasy points per minute with these guys off the court, and they have a team total of 111.25, which is one of the higher ones on the slate. So I'm going to get these 3 guys into my lineups. He's super affordable. They actually dropped his price most places. He's only $5,000 over here on DraftKings. Don't know how you get away from him. Even despite only playing 26 minutes, he still got up 22.25 fantasy points in a very tough matchup. About as tough a matchup as it gets for a center against Joel Embiid in the 76ers. So I expect a much bigger game out of him at a cheaper price tag. So I like Mo Wagner on all the sites. Over here, he's 5.4K, and then I believe he's 9.5K over here. Yeah, 9.5K, and forward eligible over here on Fantasy Draft. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what his position is over here on Fantasy Draft. This is by far the most flexible site. If you wanted to, you could play 5 centers, because I know a lot of the times this year we have wanted to play 3 or 4 centers, but we could only play 1 on FanDuel or max 2, maybe 3 if they have special eligibility over on DraftKings. But every single day you could play 5 centers over here if you wanted over on Fantasy Draft. Really suggest playing over here. And if you guys want to join the team, check us out at sharpsportsnetwork.com. Get our optimizer, projections, cheat sheet, private streams, private Discord. We got it all. We're getting new members to the team every single day, trying to help out and help everybody win some money, and it's been going well so far. So appreciate you guys watching this video, taking some time out of your day. Best of luck today, and until next time, peace.